What's good, chat? Today we're ranking the top 5 KnightmareFrame videos. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more. I love making these. At number 5, we got the 2026 Warframe tier list, the most trustworthy and valid Warframe tier list ever. KnightmareFrame is absolutely insane at Warframe and has played every Warframe for thousands of hours by now. He knows this game like the back of his palm. Who is more trustworthy than him?
El Ravenante. I don't press 2. Press 2. Just press 2. Press 2? Yeah, press 2. And here we have Rhino, big man. He has iron skin. Guess what? He can also press 2. But he has the original roar. New players, if you get regular Rhino, level him up for the mastery and immediately shove him into the helmet to get yourself the roar helmet ability. This is going to be so useful on multiple builds. And guess what? He can use Nourish and Roar all in one build. He's tanky, he has good crowd control, and is one of the best weapon platformers in the game because he can run Roar and Nourish all in one. Insane. He's more catered to the, I need to press one button and that's it type of Warframe players. But he does his job well. Great support as well, funny enough, because he just buffs you and your damage. Yeah, B tier frame at base. Kome. Last year, I was very harsh on this Warframe, and I would like to apologize for nothing. This Warframe is absolute doo-doo water.
At number 4, we got Don't Fall for This Scam. This discussion video about Arcanes is like watching a stand-up comedy video with the analogies within the video. It's truly one of a kind and shows KnightmareFrame's prowess and entertainment value as a content creator.
I'm here to talk about pure travesty that are legendary drops Arcanes, that are by far the 2 most useless Arcanes. And if you buy these Arcanes with Platinum, you're literally scamming yourself. The 2 Arcanes in questions are Arcane Barrier and Arcane Grace. It even hurts saying it. Let's see what they do. First, let's start off with Arcane Barrier. Alright, I forgot I sold my barriers to some poor soul. I'm not sorry. What about Grace? I still have Grace because it's more useful than Barrier. Anyway, let's take a look at Barrier. 5% chance to instantly restore all shields on a 5-second cooldown. Now, let me explain why relying on this Arcane is a death wish. Okay? Imagine you're walking through a dangerous riot where people are constantly throwing rocks at you. Now, in this scenario, your shields are a glass helmet that you're wearing. Don't ask why, just bear with me for a bit. Once the glass breaks, the next rock to hit your head will clock you out. Now, Arcane Barrier is an incompetent bodyguard you hired. Why? I don't know. And this bodyguard has the reaction time of a 90-year-old grandma using Internet Explorer. The 5% chance of him protecting you is where he's on the phone 95% of the time, yeah? And every time a rock hits your helmet, there's a 1 in 20 chance he looks up and instantly replaces your cracked helmet with a brand new one. Once he actually helps you and gives you a new helmet, he announces, "My job here is done," and goes on a mandatory 5-second coffee break. He will not help you again until that break is over. I know, weird analogy, but just, I hope you got the point. But yeah, my point is, relying on Arcane Barrier is like playing Russian roulette, where the gun has 19 bullets and 1 empty chamber. There's Arcane Aegis. Now let's have a look at this. It states, on taking shield damage, there's a 3% chance for plus 30% shield regeneration for 12 seconds. To understand why Aegis, even with a measly 3% chance, is generally superior to Arcane Barrier, I'll use my previous glass helmet analogy, because it's weird and easier to visualize because of the established frame of reference. You get it? Frame? No. Same situation, riot, rocks at glass helmet. Now, instead of a useless bodyguard, you have a 5-star medic on your team, but only shows up 1 out of 33 times of the encounter. Her superpower is that she doesn't outright fix your helmet instantly. Instead, she stands next to you for the next 12 seconds and mends the helmet on your head continuously after every hit. And when you pair that up with shield gating your companion, it's an infinite loop. Because for 12 seconds, you become effectively immortal because you always have just enough shields to block the next shot. I mean, look at this. TLDR, Arcane Grace is the Arcane Aegis, but for health. But Grace has so many limitations and less use cases. For better survivability on Inaros, you're better off using Arcane Guardian for the armor, and if you need healing, you can also just use Arcane Reaper. But if you're going with the blue Archon shards for armor, then Arcane Blessing and Arcane Guardian for tankiness. On top of that, his best focus school is Vazarin, which makes you invulnerable and heals you over time, making Arcane Grace obsolete in 99% of use cases. And if you like health tanking, for example using Chroma, armor bonuses like Guardian are still a better choice, and using his Fire Elemental Ward for bonus health.
At number 3, we got Stop Nerfing Your Titania. Finally, someone sheds light on why Titania is so overpowered and how people are supposed to build her. This build guide goes through the ins and outs of Titania and points out a common mistake that people do on Titania, where they mod for Toxin and Blast and mod Archon Continuity on their wait, what?
Now let's address what might be the dumbest thing you can do when building Titania with Dex Pixia. Running Archon Continuity just so you can mod Toxin and Blast on Dex Pixia. Because what you're effectively doing is nerfing your own damage for a small special effect.
Wait, did he actually do this?
And this is where a lot of people get tripped up. Status effects and elemental damage are not the same thing. The elemental damage increases your raw hit damage, while the status effect is simply a secondary mechanic that triggers under certain conditions. So if your goal is maximizing damage, confusing the two things can lead to some questionable build choices. Instead of just saying that though, let's actually demonstrate it. Same helmet ability, same Titania build. The only thing I changed was swapping a duration mod for Archon Continuity, which forced me to compromise my elemental modding on Dex Pixia. But to supplement that, I added more crit damage. Everything else stayed identical. With Toxin and Blast, the highest orange crit was 159k. With Corrosive and Blast, the highest orange crit jumped to 315k. That's a 98% increase, almost double the damage. And keep in mind, these enemies aren't even Grineer, which are ridiculously weak to Corrosive. Because if you ran these tests against Grineer, well, the difference would be ridiculous.
But isn't Galvanized shot 120% damage way more worth it? You keep the corrosive status that armor strips them anyways, and that boosts the blast and toxin dots you do. You also save a mod slot to go for even more crit damage. Am I missing something? He mods for corrosive and removed magnetic might? And he doesn't even have prime convulsion anyway. What's the point of building corrosive then? Bro, what are you... Are you just teaching people how to lower their damage? Or what are we talking about? Is this actually the video? Something must be wrong here. This is actually the video. I ignore that previous tangent. At our number 2 spot, we got Khora is no longer the same. Did they make Khora even more powerful? Aside from the crazy title, this absolute banger of a video on one of KnightmareFrame's mains sheds light into inner mechanics of Khora and how her build changed over the pseudo-exalted update and provided her with more damage by modding for ability strength. Wait. What? No. Wait. Well, this can't be correct. Modding for ability strength on Khora.
Prior to this update, we always modded negative strength on Khora to prioritize a lot of range and focus more on the stat stick to boost its damage alongside the Whipclaw augment.
Ability strength is additive to accumulating Whipclaw. Does he just not use the augment?
So what I'm gonna do now is change the way we mod Khora entirely. We're gonna first start off by going to the helmet, go to our Archon shards right here, and shove in strength shards instead of crit damage shards.
5 red tau strength shards? What? This has to be rage bait. What am I looking at?
So yeah, this is a full 5 Tau Forge strength shard Khora, completely different from the old school Khora where we focused on purple shards for the crit damage. And now you can see my two loadouts here. We have influence and exposure. And you'll see that modding for influence and exposure are going to be completely different. Guys, we've gone in a complete circle over here.
Where's Strangledome?
Influence. Do you guys remember maiming Strangledome?
No.
Yeah,
No! We subsumed Strangledome for Roar? Strangledome for Roar? This is your vision on Khora? Why not subsume Venari?
So let's first start off with the helmet in question. I'll be using Roar. Roar is a universal damage multiplier. This also works as a faction damage multiplier. And because I'll be using this with melee influence, it's going to scale those electric procs insanely well. We're spreading our influence. Look at that. Khora has a larger AoE. And notice, we're also really fast. Because if you have Venari active in a mission, you gain bonus movement speed.
What?
And the best part is, that movement speed scales with strength.
But you get this movement speed increase regardless if she's subsumed or not. What are we saying?
So taking a look at the melee influence build, you can see it looks kind of weird. We have melee.
Oh my god, what is this? You have modded primed reach on the whip claw. Primed reach on the whip claw. What are we doing now? KnightmareFrame, what is this, bro? What did we do here? Has he updated this guide? Okay, he has, thank god. Alright, yeah, this one is actually not that bad. Yeah. Thank god. At our #1 spot, we have Gara, the Walking Calamity. 3 builds that nuke the game. This title is a banger. This intro is a banger. The music is amazing. The cinematography. This video takes the most underrated Warframe in the game and one of my favorites, Gara, and provides the most optimal builds and solutions to Gara's main issues when playing her, while also showcasing her insane power. By lowering your damage on purpose to not insta-kill enemies, you can proc melee influence and... Wait, is that actually what he says?
Now, because this ability already does a lot of damage, you actually have to be careful about something that normally sounds like a good problem to have. Overkill damage. Sometimes, doing too much damage instantly kills enemies before certain status effects can properly apply, which becomes a problem when you're trying to trigger specific melee arcanes. Melee influence. This arcane turns your damage into room-clearing chaos, spreading electric status damage and your modded elements to enemies within a 20-meter radius. And the best part? It ignores line of sight, so enemies around corners, behind cover, or hiding in another zip code are still getting shocked. But then again, this is one of those cases where too much raw damage can actually hurt the setup, because we want enemies to be alive just long enough for those status effects to be procced so they can spread.
You are lowering your damage on purpose on Gara to proc melee influence on Sardaglass.
These arcanes also influence the Archon shard setup. I'm using 2 Townforge casting speed shards, extremely important. You want good
casting speed shards?
too much,
But Sardaglass does not benefit from them.
The best mod in the game. For the Shattered Lash build that goes with the Nourish setup, I went with a lot of raw damage.
Melee exposure and crits on the build about boosting the damage of her second ability. KnightmareFrame, brother, crit doesn't work on your second ability at all. And they gave you Arcane expertise literally last update, and melee retaliation has been in the game for almost 2 years now. Why are you butchering her best build like this? Okay, this has to be the lowest strength Wrathful Advanced build I have ever seen. And somehow you don't even use Overextended. There is no way we need 5 different energy economy modes to just press 1 on Gara. This is not normal. Primed reach on Shattered Glass with melee afflictions. Oh, no. What the fuck is this? Why are we going electricity magnetic afflictions on Shattered Glass? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? I'm losing it. He has a roar build too. Why does he mod for viral? Aren't you? You are using parent. Aren't you? You are using Panzerwolf. What does viral give you here? What? Where is your base damage? You don't have base damage? But base damage is multiplied by your combo counter on Pseudo Exaltist. Why do you not want it? What the oh my god, oh no. Why do you have prime reach? What? Why do you have prime reach on an influence build? Aside from this also being sad at last, it's an influence build. Why do we need prime reach? Oh god. I need a break. I really do. Oh my god. This has to be rage bait. There is no way this wasn't rage bait. And if it was, congrats. It was successful. Happy April Fool's, chat. Thank you for suffering with me.